Hello and welcome to the first 24 hours with a newborn. We are actually well past her birth, which happened yesterday at about 5 p.m. It is now the next morning at 9:15, but I just thought I'd show you how this day is going to go. We've already gotten her bilirubin levels checked. It was 0.8 or 0.08, something like that. And they said that was totally normal. She's had a couple of diapers, which has been great, and she is just sitting here sleeping on me. We have had so much fun just cuddling together and hanging out, but there's still lots of testing that has to happen today, and resting and bonding, and just little details that I want to share. So she was born and she was 8 pounds, 8 ounces. That's by far the biggest baby I've ever had, but she was also a full week past any of the other babies. So she is, when they last weighed her at around 5 a.m., she was 8 pounds and 4 ounces. So they're basically looking for them to be back up to their birth weight, but by I think, if I remember correctly, it's 2 weeks. She likely will still lose some more weight while we're here in the hospital and while I just have colostrum, but it's giving her everything that she needs. So we'll have to see how this day goes. Thought I would show you what I ended up getting for breakfast here. So I ordered a bunch of things just because this hospital is not known for having great food, and I wasn't sure what I would like. You're also just allowed to get whatever you want. So I grabbed some gluten-free toast over here. I'll have to unwrap this stuff. Hang on. Much better. So I grabbed I guess it's called a Western omelet. I asked for it with no cheese. I asked for bacon and then some diced potatoes under here as well. And then that's a turkey sausage patty, some grapes. I asked for 2 bananas because I wasn't sure if I was going to eat the toast or the oatmeal. The kids are also coming here right now too, so I'm not sure if they're going to want to snack on anything. But this is gluten-free toast, some hard-boiled eggs. I have some craisins right here along with brown sugar and raisins to go in the oatmeal. I also got a banana for the oatmeal and then a banana for the toast because I'll just put peanut butter on the toast. I'm thankful that they had some gluten-free options. Usually, I know my last experience at a hospital like this, it's not that it was bad, it's that they really didn't have any gluten-free options other than a gluten-free tortilla. There was no gluten-free bread, from what I'm remembering, if I'm remembering correctly. So this was definitely a nice surprise. It's still hospital food, but we're gonna see what ends up tasting good. Hey, really? I'm looking in here because I think they have ketchup. Yes, they do. They did not send ketchup with my potatoes. Perfect. Did she use our card again?
I don't think so.
Oh, why do you see that?
Well, she bought.
I wondered what she got for $50.
Take her back! You have to get used to it. That was called 4. It happens a 1 in this thing. Especially your mom.
Rude. I love seeing it.
I did Sis's hair the best I could. And Disqual.
I am laying here feeding baby, which is pretty much the majority of what postpartum looks like, is just feed and repeat. But I am cramping so bad. You have these afterbirth contractions that I'm sure most of you guys know about, but if you don't, they get worse with each baby. So with the first one, they're fairly mild, or at least they were for me. Second one, they were definitely there. But this stuff really helps. The after ease. I've taken it with all 3 now, just as long as your doctor says okay. But it says you just use 2 to 4 droppers full in water and then repeat as desired. And I've just been putting it on my tongue and then chasing it with water because I can't.
mix it all in water and do with all that. I'm like, yeah, no, but it's been helping. So I'm going to take one right now. And this stuff, it doesn't take it completely away, but you realize it's helping when you forget to take it. So this is what it looks like. I'm 1 day postpartum, or technically we're not even 24 hours old. Mesh underwear, silverettes on, which will save you. I probably look at least 6 months pregnant here, and that's totally normal. Here's my setup. So I have mesh underwear right here in this pack. They gave me a pack of 20 pads, so I can take all these home. Oop. And then in the back here, ice packs, which you just fold in half and crack and then shake it up. And you take your mesh underwear, and then on the inside you put your pad, and then on top of that you put your cold pack, and then you can put, these are witch hazel pads. I've never seen them look like this. Usually they give you like a bucket of Tux pads, but those work the same, and they kind of spread out into a sheet, so they were actually better. You can spray with Dermaplast, and then there you have it, the mesh underwear. This is the Perry bottle that they will give you to wash off down there so that you're not wiping. For home though, I like to have the Freedom Mom one. I got that with our second, and it's just so much better. It's 1,000 times better. And then because birth is messy, if you have blood running down your legs or anything like that, which you likely might, especially if you gave birth vaginally, you can ask them for like some bath towels. These have been an option at every hospital that I've given birth at. So you can ask for bath towels to like clean up your legs so that you don't have to shower every time. I had asked for a tub room, and this is what it looked like. So you can't really tell, but this is a deeper, I think the water's still on. I didn't actually end up using this because my labor went so fast, but this is a deeper than normal tub. It's still like the same width. I guess I was expecting more of like a round jacuzzi, but this is still a good option. It does have like the jacuzzi jets in there. And then I think that's like a thermometer. I don't really know. I didn't get to use it, but it's a super deep tub. And then they'll usually have something out here or placed along the toilet as well, so that when you get up and you're possibly bleeding, you're not bleeding like right onto the floor. So that is what the postpartum setup looks like. It's not glamorous, but it'll get the job done. In case you're wondering what the silverettes are, I'm sure you've heard everybody talk about them. This is the second time that I will be using them. I did not get to use them with Logan because I didn't even know these existed. I'm not sure if they did exist back then. But they basically just go on your nipple, directly on it, with no cream or anything like that. You can put a little bit of your milk in there if you need to. And they just stay like right in your bra. And they are basically going to save your nipples. You're still going to have pain from a new baby latching onto your nipples and trying to learn how to drink milk, but you're not going to get all that cracking and bleeding. They are a lifesaver and worth every penny. Also, let me just add, bring a dress so that you don't have to wear the gown. It was super easy. I didn't give birth in this dress, but I did labor in this dress. They let me labor in it. This is just an easy t-shirt dress that I've had for years. I've labored in it with all the kids, but it's actually been great for postpartum too, since I've been bleeding through the mesh underwear this time. That way I don't have to put on pants and ruin pants. I don't want to be in the gowns the whole time. It's not as fun as you think. Any time that I'm alone with baby and I need to go to the bathroom, I will just take her with me. I would rather leave the door open and bring her with me than not be able to have eyes on her. That's just my preference, but that's been my preference with all three. It's hard to like step away where you can't see them. You just have no idea what they're doing. Next part of our day, we are doing some hearing tests. We're doing like the newborn bundle to get out of here. So she's about to do a hearing test first.
Okay, there's gonna be a little jump here. You guys are not gonna see us leave the hospital, and that's because I was straight up sobbing. I just could not think of anything else except getting out of there. So Shiloh, when she came out, she had her hearing test done, and she failed on her right side. And that actually did not upset me at all. I can't explain it. It was just the unexplainable peace that comes from knowing the Lord. And I just put all my trust in his hands, and I did not feel anxious about it one bit. We ended up getting her retested a couple weeks later, and her hearing is perfect. She has perfect hearing. But during that whole experience, Shiloh was really, really fussy, and she was just not having the whole hearing test. I had begged the nurses to let me go in with her into the nursery because I was told earlier in the day that I could, and they said no. Until I finally convinced them to let me in there because she was just screaming her head off, and they couldn't figure out like how to soothe her. And I was like, she wants me. Let me go in there. And it's just amazing. I just was amazed by the whole situation. But before I went in there, a nurse had come out to talk to me in the hallway. And I'm not really going to repeat some of the things she said because I've gotten over it a little bit, but it still feels kind of hurtful the way she treated me in such a vulnerable postpartum period. I was not even 24 hours postpartum, and she just said some really unkind things. And I mean, your hormones are running high, but even without the hormones running high, man, I had to get out of there. So we did the hearing test. She failed, and that's okay. But I just wanted to leave and go home, and I couldn't think about filming anymore. So that's the story there. It was not a good end to our experience. The rest of the experience there was pretty good, but I'm gonna go feed this girl. You guys can watch the rest of the video. I am 11 days postpartum, and I'm about to put this postpartum basket away. I actually did not really end up using most of this stuff in here, but I thought I would show you guys what I had. And it totally just depends on the type of recovery that you're gonna have. I'm gonna show you what I am using. I did have a 2nd degree tear this time. It was right on the verge of a 1st degree and a 2nd degree tear. So that being said, I feel like my first recovery was the hardest. It's probably because I really didn't know what to expect, but also I had a 2nd degree tear, and I didn't really think it was hard until I had Isla and I had no tearing. So this has definitely been a tiny bit more difficult than the no tearing, but it really hasn't been bad. So I haven't needed all this stuff, but I have a ton of ice packs from the hospital that I've literally just gathered up from each birth, which is why I have so many. But these are great, and I love not having to take up space in the freezer. You can make ones out of diapers. You can make ones like the padsicles and all that. I just like not having them in the freezer because I have a bunch of freezer meals in there. This is a belly binder. I did not end up using this time, but with Logan, I think because I gained so much weight, I actually gained the right amount, but I ended up at a very high weight for myself just because of my starting point. This belly binder helped me feel like things were coming back together a little bit. I felt so loose and jiggly. Got that from the hospital as well. These are just some extra mesh underwear that I got. So I'll save these for next time. This is all going into storage. Evening primrose oil, I use this with Isla. Then I use this with this baby. And I don't need it anymore because I used this during pregnancy. This is a perineal balm. I think this would be great for hemorrhoids, but this is definitely not great for if you tear because you really don't want to be touching it. At least I have no desire to. Like that would kind of hurt. So rubbing something on it would not be great. Dermaplast is good if you need some numbing. I did not really need numbing this time, but I'll just keep this in there for next time. These are some hot packs. Instant hot packs that I got from the hospital this time, and so I'm keeping these for next time because they were great right along where I had my epidural. It was really sore just at the site of where they put the epidural in, so having those right on it was great for the first couple days. And then I have a couple of these Tender Care Hydrogel soothing gel pads, which I haven't needed this time. I bought those with Logan, but with Isla and this baby I have used the Silverettes, and they are worth their weight in gold. And you don't need any kind of hydrogel pads. You don't need any cream. You literally just stick these on your nipples, and it is a lifesaver. So your nipples are still going to be sore with breastfeeding just because you have someone on there who is on there 24/7 and doesn't really know how to do it yet. But this definitely helps with keeping blisters away, keeping cracking away. And I just put it on after every feed. And you can put a little milk in there if you really need to, but otherwise you don't put anything on it, and you just put these right in your bra.
So for some reason in that postpartum kit, I also had the binkies in there, but I sterilized them and put them in this bag along with a pacifier clip. I don't really use pacifiers, but in case baby needs one or something, I have a bunch of different options in there. Ryan and Rose ones. These are the Avent ones. And then just a little pacifier clip if they do end up using it. I think Isla ended up using a pacifier for like 2 months or something like that, but she wasn't really attached to it. So, and then these are just big old pads from the hospital that I got. And I figured, oh, I'll keep these with the mesh underwear. So those are going to go back into storage as well. Trying to think of like the best way to store this stuff, but I'll probably just cram it all in there. And it was kind of nice this time, because I already had this all in this basket here. I literally just pulled this basket out and I was ready to go. So I just made sure everything in there was sterilized as it needed to be. I can also put this away. I haven't been using this in a while. The Freedom Mom perineal washer, great, love it so much. The things I have been using are these 3. Diapers for myself. These are the Depends diapers, and I have been loving those. This spray, this comes in that 2-pack with the perineal balm. I didn't end up using the balm, but this spray has been great, and I just spray it on after I like gently dab and go about my day. And then hydrocortisone cream. This is what my provider prescribed me for down there. So there you go. That's what I've been using, is literally those 3 products. So I'm about to get this all off my counter and I'm gonna be so excited.
Well, hello from me, 3 months postpartum. I wanted to share our baby's name in this video in case you have not heard it yet. I posted a Costco haul with her, and that was pretty much like the first time I introduced her on my YouTube channel, but this is Shiloh, and we love her name. It has a really special meaning. I think it means God's gift. I say it has a really special meaning and then I can't remember. That's mom brain. But I remember looking it up after we had decided on it, and I was like, yes, that is her. So she's a very calm baby. She has slept through the night since like a month and a half old. I don't think I'm doing anything different. I think it's just her. She's just very calm and go with the flow and loves being with mama. And I just adore her. We all adore her. The kids have loved her so much. They always want to hold her. They just think she can do no wrong, which is so cute. But I wanted to tell you a quick backstory of her name. So I had a whole long list of girl and boy names. We did not know the gender before having her. So you can go back and watch my birth vlog if you want to see how we found out. I had a whole long list of girl and boy names. I'm not ready to share all of those yet because we still want more babies, and I really would still like to use some of those names. But all I can say is that Shiloh was not on the list. So when she came out, I thought, oh, let's go through the girl list. And as we're going through it, I was like, none of these are her. None of these are her. This is why we always wait until the baby is born to name them. We always usually have a couple names on hand, but sometimes they just don't feel like that name. And so I had brought up Shiloh in the middle of pregnancy, but Derek had vetoed it. And our rule is that if one of us vetoes it, then we don't name the baby that. We don't like take turns, each of us naming a baby or whatever. We both have to like the name. So he had vetoed Shiloh, and the very first name that he thought of went after we said, no, none of these on the list work. He said, how about Shiloh? And I just immediately, I can't even explain the feeling. It was just a gut feeling. I felt like the Lord was speaking to me, and he said, that's her name. But I didn't want to listen. I wanted to make sure we exhausted all names first. And so another one that was also not on the list but had made it down to like the final 3 was Lily. But spelled L-I-L-E-E, because I just thought that was a cute spelling. Although I'm sure her entire life she would have to be correcting people on how to spell it. So as we're going through, I'm like, I really think it's Shiloh, but I didn't want to admit it. And I was like, I just need to see first, like we need to give it some time. So when she was about 12 hours old, the nurse was taking her into the nursery to take her vitals, and I went with her. I don't ever let my babies out of my sight when they're at the hospital. And so I go into the nursery with her as she's taking her vitals, and she turns, Shiloh's laying like on her back, and the nurse turns her so that I can see her back and I can see her butt as she's about to change her diaper. And on the back of her diaper, it says Shiloh. I am not joking. So if you guys have a newborn baby, you might know that on the back of Pampers diapers, on some of them, they have these 2 little friends back there named Shiloh and Freddie. And it's like a mouse or something and an elephant. And I just felt like that was God saying, her name is Shiloh. And so yes, we named her Shiloh, and it's so her. It just fits. And we just adore her. She's just such a joy. Postpartum has been going really well this time around. The hemorrhoids were rough. That's what I was using that cream for, the cortisone cream. That was the roughest part of this recovery. And my body just isn't bouncing back super quickly. It's definitely a lot more loose this time around. So we're just giving it plenty of time. Plenty of time, because there's nothing else I can do. And I've just been enjoying her so much. And just seeing the kids with her. Okay, I think I've repeated myself enough times. I wanted to share that cool story about her name, though. And Shiloh apparently is a place of peace in the Bible, at least from my research. I need to do more research on it. But that is her. She is so peaceful. And she is God's gift. And she's just, we love her. So that's all. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Bye.